Good morning. Actually, good afternoon. Evening, as we kind of go. There's only so many left, right?
Who is that?
So, yeah, I haven't had nearly enough coffee.
John Evans?
Something in there. Call to order the December 9th, 2025 work session. You've had the minutes of the meeting for November 25th, regular meeting, work session meeting, and executive session meeting. Any issues with the minutes as written? Hear none?
Mayor,
Yes, ma'am?
since, okay.
You can go. Her question has been answered.
Oh,
Okay,
she couldn't hear me?
not at all.
All right, and then we have a public hearing, and we'll do that at the formal regular meeting, for the conditional use at 1792, Mount Zion Road. You want to do the new business and talk about the police department stuff there, Mr. Baker?
Good evening, Mayor and Council, ladies and gentlemen, and staff. This is a consideration to approve the previously approved in the budget Morrow Police Department request for 2 vehicles per their replacement cycle. And I recommend the approval of this for 2 Ford Police Interceptor Police Utility Vehicles, which totals $99,000. As I mentioned, it was budgeted for the fiscal year 2026 budget. The second page on your packet shows the agenda item memo. These vehicles are each priced at $400 below the normal state contract price of $49,900 from Brandon Motor Company. You also see a breakdown of what the vehicles include on the page right after that, on the quote from Brandon.
Does that include all the bells and whistles, or is that just the vehicle?
That is the vehicle. And the reason I'm asking to approve it now, the purchase probably won't go through until February, but the price needs to be locked in before the year-end, new year price increases. So they seem to be going up quite rapidly every year.
Fair enough.
The
Questions?
equipment packages are about $12,000 each.
In addition to,
Yeah, oh, yes.
so that's $125,000.
Well, I'm not asking for the equipment yet. We're gonna see what we can salvage, and then we'll piece it out, and then I'll give you the package on it.
Does the equipment at least include tires?
Oh, the tires come with the vehicle, sir.
Just checking. Questions, Ms. Knight,
No question.
Mr. Quah,
No question.
Ms. Dean?
Don, you deserve that, cause that's what you used to get.
I do have a question.
Good to
first.
Yes,
see
ma'am.
you.
You're holding back on the equipment because it's, is it gonna maybe give us a cardiac?
Oh, no,
something
no,
or
the
not?
equipment package is roughly around $12,000, including the graphics on the side and everything else. And it was budgeted as well when we budgeted the vehicles.
Anything new or different?
No, and what we're gonna try and do is recycle some of the equipment from the older vehicles. So whatever we don't need to purchase new, that we can retrofit into these. Unfortunately, I think Ford's in cahoots with some of these equipment
I'm trying
manufacturers
to
and
find out
dimensions
if
change.
there's any sophisticated AI stuff.
Oh, no, this is just your basic police
Yeah, 'cause-
cages, computer mounts,
Yeah, 'cause-
inverters.
Go to people's houses and see stuff.
That's a good idea. Let me write a note on that one. That's neat. No.
Ms. Nguyen?
No question.
The rest of it's just a public hearing for later. Any other issues that we got, Mr. Baker?
Just a second reading of the ordinance that we've already discussed at the last meeting. That would be 2025-08 to amend the fee schedule.
And fee schedules on multiple different things, correct? And,
Yes,
and it should be, do we have copies on it back?
Yes, all the copies are in there of the suggested changes as well as the new ordinance.
Good. And there's multiple line items for multiple different things. We will see you at 7:30.
No changes,
The coffee back there is really good. There's a huge tray.
There's no changes from the last,
No, ma'am.
on the.
Same thing, same
okay.
thing as we did last time.
Okay.
There's a huge tray of cookies, and there's oatmeal raisin, M&M, chocolate chip, and the coffee's hot.
Macadamia nut.
So,
Yeah.
enjoy some. The city council won't have its normal meeting on the 23rd, so this should be the last meeting of the year, last formal meeting, correct?
Possibly.
So, Possibly, unless something.
Well, it's been already advertised as
You
council,
never
so.
can tell.
Okay, so unless something entertaining comes out, so, fellowship with your citizens, and, we'll see y'all at 7:30. Please be seated. You have before you the minutes of the November 25th regular meeting, the work session meeting, and the executive session minutes. Any questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second?
Motion properly seconded. All those in favor say aye. Ms. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Qual?
Aye.
Ms. Dean?
Aye.
And Ms. Wynn? Aye. Motion carried. Public hearing. This one is related to property located at 1792 Mount Zion Road. Most of you might know it as the old racquetball center. There's been a number of places. It's been underperforming for probably 20 to 25 years. And the city recently changed our code from a bottle shop concept to drive economic development. And it has some very specific ideas. In other words, why was it done? It was designed to convince people to make multi-million-dollar investments in your city, to drive additional restaurant businesses to your city, because we are under-restauranted, if you want to say it that way, with multiple different concepts. This is the first applicant that has met those criteria, has purchased a piece of property, and tonight you're going to see a prototype, mostly visionary, of where we want to go. It has made it through the Planning and Zoning Board. It was unanimously recommended, and we'll get a chance to hear it tonight. And we'll have a public hearing, and then we'll also have the actual conditional use request from those people. But I'll start with a public hearing, right? And you'll get a chance to listen to it. And for those that were here at the last meeting, traditionally we would have heard this at the last city council meeting, but we put the date on the sign out front for December 9th today, So technically you've already had two chances. This will be your second chance to have a discussion. And so for those that were here in the original call, you would have already heard everything that you're going to hear again tonight. But is there any comments to start with from the audience? And we've got some wonderful people in the audience. So we have the Urban Redevelopment Authority. We've got Lonnie LeBay, who's by all means, come on. Who runs the Urban Redevelopment Authority. We've got Benita Crawford. She's the Development Authority. We've got Lynn Collins, who's going to be newly elected as well, but he's also the current chair of the Planning and Zoning Board. So, and a number of different people that serve on staff for economic development purposes, and most of your departments are represented here as well. Hearing no comments, we'll close out the public hearing section of that, and we will get into the formal section of the hearing. And so for the young audience that just showed up, you're about to see a rarity. It's a combination of like zoning and we get to talk about specific properties and why we do what we do, and to be able to drive development to your city. And ultimately that pays for police officers, firefighters, your streets, and things like that. Keeps your parks. That's where the money comes from, right? So you're about to see some cool stuff. Go ahead, Ms. Baker. And if it's really boring, it's Baker's fault.
Oh, it's going to be boring. No. Good evening, Mayor and Council, and esteemed guests, our citizens and department heads. This is a conditional use request that's been submitted for the property located at 1792 Mount Zion Road, Morrow, Georgia, 30260, seeking approval to establish a package store within the general business zoning district. The applicant is requesting authorization for this use in accordance with the City of Morrow zoning ordinance, which requires conditional use approval for alcoholic package retail establishments within the GB zone properties. You'll see on the next page of your packet, there's a legal notice. To actually be able to read the legal notice, this is as it was published in the paper. You'll see the next page. I think it's incumbent upon me to read that paragraph for you, so here's the boring part. The public hearing notice, conditional use request. The City of Morrow has received an application for a conditional use request. Notice is hereby given that the following public hearing will occur. 1, the Planning and Zoning Board of the City of Morrow will conduct a public hearing on Tuesday, November 18th, 2025 at 6:30. 2, the Mayor and Council of the City of Morrow will conduct a public hearing on Tuesday, December 9th at 7:30. Each said meeting will occur at the above designated times at the above designated date in the council chambers of the Morrow Municipal Complex at 1500 Morrow Road, Morrow, Georgia 30260. The purpose of the hearing is a conditional use request. The subject property is located at 1792 Mount Zion Road, Morrow, Georgia 30260. The property is zoned general business. The applicant, Zion Package Incorporated, requests a conditional use as required for a package store to locate in the general business zoning district. Public is invited to attend each said meeting and to be heard. So this was published on both October 22nd and October 29 of 2025. And this is the consideration of it. I'd like to read a brief summary of the conditional use request as submitted. The application for a conditional use was submitted by Jane Yu, a representative for Zion Package Incorporated, also Sweet Hut Bakery Cafe. The conditional use requested is to establish an alcohol retail package sales business, including an adjoining restaurant, and is required by code. The package sale would include beer, wine, and distilled spirits. A Sweet Hut Bakery and Cafe is intended for the development. The subject property is located within a general business district. The current use of the property is as a nonprofit alcohol and drug recovery resource center. The subject property contains 3.29 acres of land, which exceeds the code requirement of 2 acres for distilled package sales. The building was constructed in 1980. The interior of the building is 27,940 square feet, which exceeds a 15,000 square foot minimum requirement for distilled spirits and package sales. The renovation of the interior will include a restaurant, cafe, bakery as required by code for package sales. The next bullet will say the granting of a conditional use does not negate the responsibility of the property owner and/or business operator to comply with all other applicable federal, state, and local laws, codes, and permit requirements. And the Planning and Zoning Board recommends approval of the conditional use request to establish a retail package store at 1792 Mount Zion Road as is provided for in the city's code of ordinances and the following conditions. And these were the conditions that were agreed upon by the Planning and Zoning Board: that all exterior code violating conditions will be corrected within the first 120 days of the CU approval. All redevelopment guidelines and requirements will be completed within 120 days of the CU approval. The city manager and mayor must sign off on final plans before permits are issued. And the package store and restaurant must open simultaneously or within reasonable time between the openings. And that was respectfully committed by the Planning and Zoning Board members, the Chair Wayne Collins, Member Aaron Malden, Member Diane McDonald, Member Joyce Bean, and Member David Roast. And that's the high and low. And I believe we have someone here from the Zion Package to do a presentation, if it so pleases the mayor and council.
It does. Please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jane Yu. As a bit of background, we are owner and operator of Sweet Hut Bakery and Cafe, mainly stationed in Atlanta, Georgia. We have about 6 locations in Georgia, and we're thinking about opening our 7th location here in the city of Morrow. Along with Sweet Hut, we also saw an opportunity to develop the 1792 building into a liquor store and a Sweet Hut as well. This is currently what the building looks like. And this is kind of our vision of what it'll redevelop to be. The liquor store itself, we do have a lot of inspiration for from a lot of different unique shelving and whatnot. And our most important thing as far as the liquor store is concerned is we want to provide a different liquor store experience, a more consumer retail-based experience. And hopefully with being able to bring a Sweet Hut, Asian pastry and bubble tea into the city of Morrow, we're excited to be here if you'll have us.
Fair enough. Stay up here, just a question, we'll ask a series of questions. And I'm actually gonna start. So, property's been built in 1985, sitting vacant. You do have a current tenant, and they, I assume, have some type of short-term lease?
They have, I think they actually have 2 year left on the lease, but we have a 90-day notice that that we're able to give them, to terminate the lease.
And what kind of time frame to come up with MEPs and the different drawings that you have?
MEP right now will probably close to 3 months. Yeah, anywhere from 2 to 3 months, especially meeting in the holidays.
Start to finish construction,
About anywhere from 6 to 12 months.
so about a year from now, fair enough. The property itself, is Ms. Cherry about to tell me she can't listen or she can't hear me?
No, I want to ask her a question.
Well, wait your turn. All right, come on. You know, but it's, so the property and the city council has information. I assume some of this stuff's available in the back. Some of us have the ability to have personal memory about how different properties look in the city of Marl. So if we talking and you don't quite understand, there's enough information here to back it up if somebody want to come back and look at it later. The property currently does not have access to Corporate Center Drive. Corporate Center, we just repaved Corporate Center. And when you're looking at ingress and egress to not only that property, but how it affects property on Mount Zion, I feel it is in our best interest to use the signal light as it was designed, which is to get most people in and out. Similar, it wasn't part of the request from the Planning and Zoning Board, but part of my request would be that we require you to have, maybe not on day one, but we require you to have that access, and that the city of Marl facilitate its location, and if ultimately it's designed, so be it. So that way, we can get you in and out, get your customers in and out. My understanding is the building kind of stays the way it is, right? Well, I say the way it is, the footprint is there. So that shouldn't really be a challenge, because Corporate Center 3000 is right across from you, and they only have one entrance, so they don't have an entrance on Mount Zion. So I'm not asking anybody to close the entrances on Mount Zion you have. I'm just saying let's facilitate the traffic as best we can. Otherwise, we may end up with people trying to turn left out of that property, and there's no real good reason for that. And you spent $300,000 on a signal light many years ago when you did Costco. So, we don't want to have people to have to come back. So I want that as an additional condition, and this of course is up to the city council when it also comes in there. So not only the 2 conditions as they were stated by the Planning and Zoning Board, but I would like an additional condition to be defined. You also have kind of some, outdated infrastructure there. We have a pool, that's going to be filled in. We have a tennis court.
Yes.
And depending on, what's all going to happen there, those things don't have to wait. Does that make sense? You can do those kind of as you see fit. And Marty and them can give you a base permit for that, so you don't have to wait till, you get your final on something else, right? All you're doing is getting your ground compacted and getting it ready.
Okay, that
So
would be
you can submit that separately. Let's see what else. There was a discussion, and I'm reading kind of the floor plan, and I know the building is big enough to do more than we're just having play. I know there was a concept that said we may have a second restaurant potential in there.
Potential, yes.
Could you tell me a little bit more about that?
So the third restaurant, now that we're kind of doing floor planning on the space, we do think there's enough space for our liquor store, ample space for the Sweet Hut, but there is actually still one more retail space that we can spare. That space will either be operated by us or in the lease. But if it's operated by us, it'll likely be either our food terminal brand, which actually just got Michelin recommended this year. But outside of that as well, we will likely either that or do a Thai restaurant that we have close to 25 years that's located near Emory University. So we think both concepts might work well there as
How
well.
many square feet approximately would that be?
3,750, yeah.
Okay, no, that's fair enough. And then I know you've got I'm not an architect, so you got whatever that awning is on the front. Would that be multiple shared for the Sweet Hut restaurant as well as the other, or do you have that specifically in mind for your Sweet Hut concept?
I think most most likely we'll have that mainly for the bakery concept, but I think as we start planning and depending on if we're operating or if it becomes a tenant lease space is kind of where we'll decide, how we want to separate that space out.
Fair enough, fair enough. That's all my questions for right now. Ms. Knight?
Good evening, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. So a part of the vision for this type of business, it's a liquor store and a restaurant. So if you could walk us through the floor plan that you've submitted, because as I'm seeing it now, I don't see the restaurant component. I can appreciate Sweet Hut, as I know everyone does appreciate Sweet Hut. However, we've had several
When they give you the goodies
conversations.
in the back, they're all
Well,
gone, so
yeah.
that's a lot of appreciation.
But I think with all of the conversations that the city has had previously in bringing this concept to light, I'm not seeing you bring forward the concept that we have discussed. So if you could walk us through the floor plans as submitted, because again, this liquor store is supposed to be in conjunction with a restaurant. And so I know Sweet Hut Bakery provides, plenty of goodies and all of that, but we've got qualifications with regard to the restaurant component, and I'm not seeing where with this initial submission, you're meeting the definition of the restaurant component that's supposed to go along with the liquor store itself.
So for us, it's kind of a twofold. First is I kind of wish we had we actually already designed the actual tasting bar area for the liquor store, and it itself, according to law of Georgia right now,
Let me stop you right there. I'm going to try to keep the audience up to speed as much as we can. One of the additional components we were looking for, when you see it up in Tennessee or some of those in Kentucky, the rules are a little bit different than they are in Georgia, but Georgia is beginning to make some changes. And so the idea is you could have a tasting component, which is more of an entertainment component within the actual liquor store. So don't think like we're just running up to Holiday Bottle Shop, getting us a case of beer and we're running out. We're trying to make it more experiential shopping. And so that way, if we won't pick on anybody in the room, but let's say somebody wanted to do a wine tasting, that they could open up a bottle of a pairing, for an example, and enjoy that. And we think the market is there for that. So it's not if the city of Morrow is going to open up, the opportunity, then we want to create as much of a value to not only our citizens and their clients, but ultimately to the economic development aspect of it. Which means, why would you shop here? Because it's going to be the only one like it for miles. Oh, by all means, go ahead.
So we actually already started designing the interior of it, and the main feature is actually going to be a central bar. And according to the law of Georgia right now, we can only have 52 events, 52 wine tasting events a year. So, maybe on a weekly basis, but as we do the wine tasting events, then we can consider food pairing and all of that to kind of make it more of a weekend experience.
So I do appreciate that, and I do, wonderful.
Do you have
wonderful
one of the
drawings.
designs that shows the multiple restaurants to it? Do you have that
Right.
as a floor
We're
plan?
specifically
Because I think
wanting
this
to
one's
see
rather old.
it's-
I think that was one
It's
that went a
pairing
while
the
back.
liquor store with a restaurant experience. So I'm not seeing with what has been submitted, the restaurant experience. And I think in our packet as well, we've got, in our ordinances, so that's what you've got. And it's reading sparse as far as restaurant. It's-
But this would be on this side, right?
Yeah.
Because he
So-
doesn't have it laid out yet.
Right,
You see
we
that square
don't.
footage.
So again, to me, with regard to this first pass, and understanding, like Mayor Lampo says, we deserve so much. And that's what we're looking for. I'm not saying that conceptually, visually, it's not gonna hit the mark, but with what is being brought to us, a major portion of what we have decided as a city that we're wanting to have for our citizens as an experience, it's not with what has been submitted thus far. So if you're bringing forward the Thai restaurant and the liquor store concept, if you're bringing that forward first, then, I think it would hit the mark. But right now, with what you're bringing forth, it's not what we've had several conversations to bring to the table.
So as far as Sweet Hut Bakery and Cafe, yes, it's not a restaurant, but we actually have a lot of savory option, and we treat Sweet Hut really as a lifestyle cafe. You know, we are a bakery and we are a cafe, but we're actually more of, you know, you can pretty much have your meal, morning coffee, the dessert, the whole package. So we did always view Sweet Hut kind of as a kind of I guess a restaurant concept, if you will, like to fit the requirement. But like I said, you know, the third space in itself was, you know, we're likely going to operate as also a restaurant as well. So, you know, Sweet Hut itself has all the savory, the full meal options, and then, you know, as well, you know, so to kind of satisfy the city's requirement in that
Okay.
respect.
So, just reading from our packet, restaurants, any public place kept, used, maintained, seating capacity of at least 60 people, having employed there in a sufficient number. All of these things that break down as the definition of a restaurant, again, I'm not seeing it with what has been submitted thus far.
What's your seating capacity over?
Okay, so there's seating requirements for what defines as a restaurant, is that?
If Mr. Baker could kind of expound on,
But I just asked Qua, he's got a restaurant next door, and I asked him just what's his seating capacity. He said he's got about 4,500 square feet, and what'd you say, about 130?
Yeah,
130. To give you a comparison, somebody who may have been over there, you kind of know what you're looking at. So she certainly has the square footage, you know, and I realize that you guys just bought the property. I get that. But, you know, Ms. Knight is just reading from the book and basically making you aware that this is what the code is. And at some point, Marty, and you know, we'll hold you to that. To me, I'm happy to get 2 restaurant concepts. If you could stretch the building a little bit, we could get 3. I'm kidding, you know.
but, and again, so I can only go off of what is in front of me today. And again, love Sweet Hut. But we have had so many conversations, and I'm pulling a page from the Mary John Lample book. You know, we deserve a lot. We've had a lot of conversations. We want that economic development. We want to be leaders with what we have to offer as far as amenities and things in the city. But again, for me, this first pass with the information that's been provided, it's not hitting the mark of what we've already had conversations about. Even if it was conceptually, with the conceptual drawings, like that restaurant space with meeting these quote unquote definitions of what it should have, we don't see that this evening. So that's my concern, because we want to make sure that we engage with people who are going to do for the city what they say they're going to do. We've experienced plenty where, you know, you say one thing and it just doesn't happen. And so I appreciate that you all are the owners of the building and you all do have a vision, but my concern is, you know, again, based off of what we've had conversations about being delivered, it's not what you brought today. It's the promise of, you know, I don't know if that's enough for me today. And I can only go off of what was presented today.
I guess that there's a part that might be we're not on the same page. So for our understanding per last meeting, we were expected to provide a more in-depth design and planning for the liquor section. That's why we spent a lot of time organizing, which is a lot of the development for us to get to the rendering perspective. So it's more visual aid that people can see and imagine.
So it's your fault.
Yeah, how the space is going to be.
Yeah, because
Fair enough. I'm just picking
this is a pairing concept.
Right.
You know, we want. I don't want to. I mean, you guys mentioned Thai food. Like, I love paper plane over in Hapeville. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we want that thing to come together, and that's not what I'm seeing right now. I feel like you all. You can probably deliver it, but we would like to see it, to buy into it, to believe in it, rather than it just being I don't know, for me, just the promise of. I need a little bit more meat on the bone.
Fair enough. Other questions? Renee?
Oh, no more questions.
Okay, Mr. Qua.
So, how big is, tell me that, the liquor store, what is the percentage of the liquor store in the building? How big is it
About 17,000 square feet
for the liquor store?
for the liquor store. And then about 5,700 for the sweet hut space.
Okay. And then you say you still have some more room for,
About like 3,600 for a
So-
third concept.
so what you have in mind, is it big enough for like a food terminal or what
Top Spice.
top
Yeah,
line?
yeah.
We're garnering interest right now as far as operator goes as well, who's gonna partner with us. But Top Spice feel very strongly, and they're honestly a great Thai restaurant. My mom owns that. I used to work at age 13 till college years, but I think it is actually quite a strong concept for the area. Food terminal, it's a Malaysian street food concept that we have. That's based in Doraville. That's the first location, and we've gotten really great success with it, and got Michelin recommended for the past 3 years.
3 years.
3
Concept,
years.
yeah.
Yeah, 3 consecutive years. So we're kind of still weighing that.
If you were weighing it, what is it? You don't think the area can carry it? You don't think that's our palate? What would be
She
your
was told
decision?
that, she was told by somebody.
By my husband, who says we serve food terminal might be too weird for the area. You know, because
You don't think Qua's gonna eat it?
you know the more
I have no idea what the concept is.
particularly when our best seller is fried pig ears. You know, is very different.
Well, we got an
but it is
audience out
very
there. Anybody
delicious.
eating fried pig ears? All right, how about Thai? Everybody eating Thai? It looks like there's definitely more Thai support than pig ears, so
Yeah,
just,
so that
it's
those
informal poll. But,
You got your point.
Yeah, so those are in our consideration.
But so in terms of Top Spy, you think what is the normal size for?
3,000
so
to
it's right on.
4,000
Yeah.
square feet, so
Right
kind of
Yeah.
right on that.
Okay.
And even
So-
for food terminal, we have store ranging from 3,000 square feet to like 7,000 something. So yeah, we have flexibility.
but both sections have grease traps, vent hoods, and everything that kind of comes with it.
Yes, well, the grease trap we will have to add as we continue the development, because we will have to do
Yeah,
a
for,
decent
for,
amount of work.
for sweet hut as well.
First we had as well, only because, and in truth, you know, and to your question, Ms. Knight, it's when we think about Sweet Hut, we actually, as far as health service program go, everything we kind of run it like a restaurant, you know. So hence, you know, for us, it made sense for us to feel like, you know, it adjoins well with the liquor store next door.
So how likely that you're gonna have the third restaurant in there? I mean, the third component, I mean, like a Top Spy, you know, or whatever.
It's very likely, but it is very dependent on finding the right operator that we feel is competent.
So likely you have a third restaurant, but you're not sure, you're debating what to put in there, is that correct?
Yeah.
So you bring in 2 restaurants and a liquor store, so
that's
can
the
I,
hope.
can I say that?
That's the hope.
Okay?
Fair enough. Ms. Dean.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. To kind of piggyback on what Councilman Qua was saying about the third restaurant, that is concerning to me because I wouldn't want to see the bakery and I'm going to call it the bottle shop or the package store. Liquor store for me sounds, doesn't fit moral.
Are you talking just in name only? Is that what you're saying? I was just checking.
I'm not finished. But, so, my concern is that, you know, you'll have those 2 entities, and you could go years without getting that third restaurant, because I think the package store and the restaurant is the main component. You know, the bakery portion, you're just gonna do pastries on that, in that part.
So our bakery concept has bakery, has a cafe, but more importantly, we will have a grease trap and a full functioning kitchen where we will sell a lot of savory items, which we currently do in all our locations.
Which is,
Selling
So anywhere from fried snacks, chicken nuggets, all the
Burger?
way. I'm sorry?
burger too, right?
Yes, certain location has burgers, sandwiches, panini. Not all locations have it, but we can definitely consider it. But more so, we have, but more, every single one of my store, as we have baked concept now, will always incorporate pretty much a full kitchen for us to, add on to. And we actually sell a lot of savory snacks, especially, we actually just released a few years ago, kind of like a slider aspect. So it's like a small bite, but it will function as a meal. And in truth, in our culture, all savory buns actually serve to us as a meal. We look at a barbecue pork bun and all that as a meal as well, but hence, yeah.
Okay, and so,
She talked back into the
for
mic.
me, the
Oh, sorry.
restaurant portion of it, is it just you people walk in and get served and seated and served, or
For the
How is it
restaurant
going to
concept or
operate?
for the bakery concept?
for the restaurant?
Restaurant is, yes, it's server based,
You
yes.
just walk in and you serve and sit down, or sit down and get served?
Yes,
Or do you, you can take out and all of that type of thing, or is it just
oh,
how
no,
are you
we'll,
gonna operate?
they'll be able to sit down and they'll be able to take out. That's most of our restaurant concept. That, they'll just be sit down and be served, and of course they can order takeout and all that whatnot, yes.
Now, someone referred to someone that like wine tasting. I don't know who that individual was, who they were talking about, but my past, there have been bottle shops or package stores, nice businesses that has offered that. And my experience has been that, the community, if you bring the product, people are looking for something nice, kind of upscale. If it isn't upscale, we can go to our surrounding cities and have that experience. But what we want here in the city of Morrow is something different than what is around, us.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because that's precisely what we're trying to do as well.
Right. So, and I'm very curious as to what your name is gonna be.
Well, it is to be determined, because we have gotten a lot of feedback. We know the city council's concerned about having the word liquor or, in there as well. So that's why we are definitely still brainstorming, and this council will be the first to know once we settle on one. Because originally we wanted, living in a digital age, when every time someone looks for a store, on the business standpoint, every time someone looks for a store, it's important for us that people look at the name on Google, see a list of package store, and be able to say, oh, this definitely sells liquor. So that was the main reason why we wanted to always have the liquor in the name. But we have heard some concerning, especially with the Planning and Zoning Commission and here as well. So that's why we backed off of that and kind of re-brainstorming as we speak.
Yes. Thank you for that.
Yes.
I appreciate that. And the other thing, again, this is your concept right here. I can appreciate that, but how close to the mark are you all? with the
We
concept?
actually have the interior design fully modeled and rendered for the city council review. They did print it out? Oh, no, is that it? Oh, yeah. So that's actually the physical store design that we hope to achieve. That is actually the full design, full
So
interior
when you
design.
say hope to achieve,
Well,
do you mean that
that
this isn't a possibility, or it is?
Well, no. So after we design this, then our next stage is to get quotes and get get vendors to, pretty much, especially achieving that centerpiece. It actually takes a lot of, guidance from TAO to pretty much have the contractor to be able to achieve knowing what material and how they're going to present it.
Okay.
I believe he actually has it over there as well.
It looks awesome. Any other questions?
Okay.
Ms. Dean? Ms. Nguyen?
Jan, thank you so much for coming to City Morrow. You have choice to go to other city, because I know your restaurant, the first day we opened City Hut, about 15 years ago. And I remember that plaza at the Asian Square on Doraville, it was a ghost town. And there's only many like grocery chain were gone. And Chimley Tucker, that road was dead 15 years ago. But because of your restaurant, you're a game changer. And you developed the Silk Road, revitalized the whole Chimley Silk Road. So you put Doraville on the map, so I'm really appreciate that you come here and hopefully that your restaurant can revitalize and enhance Morrow more. And I have been to 7 of your restaurants in all your locations. I've been to Doraville, I've been to Pleasant Hill, Midtown location near Georgia Tech, Athens, Sandy Spring, West Midtown, even the top spot at Door Cumberland too. Yes, because I'm a foodie, so. But the one that I think you're just being humble, that the package is not showing what the actual of your true restaurant is. Because I know your restaurant is not a low level or mid level. It's actually in the high level that is comparable to high-end restaurant and bakery. They make pastry fresh every day. And the noodles from food terminal is fresh, lo mein every day, and fresh barbecue every day. And I won't say it's catered for international, because if it's not catered for international, it won't be in Sandy Spring, Midtown, or near Georgia Tech area. So I say it would be catered for the mainstream American diverse. So I thought it would be appropriate for City of Morrow would be welcoming it, because we have Clayton State University here, and we have how many students at Clayton State University?
Close to
8,000 international students. So I would thought it would be great to be here. So I mean, Tough Spy is good too, but we have Mamacita here. So I love Mamacita. I don't want to be competing with Mamacita. But that's just my personal opinion. But overall, this is just my feedback that I wish that you have that presentation or the writing, including the package, even the picture, so we can give you the praise, more like that in review, because I know that you guys are truly better than what stated in the package. Yes. And I hope that, other council and mayor have a chance to go try out one of your restaurant, one of the location, because it surely looked very good and very lively there. Yeah.
Sure, if you pay.
And no, thank you so much for that, Ms. Councilman. And in hindsight, that's on me. I think we focused a lot on trying to finalize all the detailed design for the city council to review in the liquor store, because I know there was a lot of concern on how the liquor store will look like, that we thought we honestly couldn't spend enough time on it on the Sweet Hut side to present to you guys, and that I do apologize for that.
Right, but again, for Sweet Hut for us, it's our go-to, and we've been doing that for the past 15 years for different locations, different scales. So to us, that's the easy part. Whereas the liquors, the package store is something that we have to really look into to how to actually execute to a level that we can actually all see and review and be on the same page. That's why we spend a lot of time to kind of revise it to a point where things could be presentable today.
And it shows in the renderings of the liquor store and the inspirational shelving and all of that. That is wonderfully done, great conceptual information. But, again, just to bring to your attention, the conversations that we've had in the city. I know Sweet Hut is very popular. I like Sweet Hut too. But again, with the restaurant concept, I understand what you're saying. Restaurant, you got savory, a lot of different items. I'm not denying that at all. Do we need Sweet Hut in the city? We absolutely do. But I'm also bringing to attention to the public and the council the conversations that we've had about bringing us to the point to actually be queued up for a liquor store. The conversations included a restaurant, and I think with what was presented today, it doesn't give the full breadth and depth of the type of restaurant pairing that we envision. I'm not saying that you all aren't going to bring it, but with what was presented today, I don't see it. I see the space. I see the space for it, but again, to your point, there was so much attention paid to the liquor store that maybe a little bit of the understanding of the concept and how we have agreed to roll it out in the city. It's a hand-in-hand thing.
Can you pull out one of your other restaurants, Food Terminal or Tops Bios, just to have a sense that you're thinking about it?
Use the one that doesn't have the pig ears. We'll start with that.
Yeah, see that.
Yeah, and so with that being said, seeing that's a restaurant conceptual pairing with a liquor store with a tasting menu, higher level experience. I'm not saying Sweet Hut isn't higher level, but understanding what we've decided as a city to bring, which would be different, the pairing of the liquor store with the restaurant concept, and in your conversation with us today, Sweet Hut, you all own. It's on lockdown. I don't want us to be, as a city, queued up for another promise. If the operator of the restaurant concept, and again, don't take any umbrage to me not saying Sweet Hut is the restaurant, but the uncertainty that's there, that's what was brought today with regard to the hand-in-hand pairing of what we've said is the concept that we want for the liquor store.
Let me pick up from there. For the audience who may not know Sweet Hut, first we will do the taste testing. So since they've started to work with the city a little bit, they have partnered with us and they were a sponsor. They brought some food the other day to one of the events. I was unfortunate enough to get there 2 minutes after it got there, and all I was able to acquire was some red bean product
We'll bring more next time.
and a significant number of empty boxes. And I'm going to say that both our police department, our fire department, plus our employees are very capable connoisseurs of food, and if it wasn't of decent quality, it would have still been there for me. So that's the first one. The second one is people do like to drive into it. In other words, we talk about what is your history, what have you really done, and their latest product was a ground up construction at Kennesaw. You really have to go look at it. It is there's nothing that you're going to be able to come to and say, you wouldn't want one of those. And I've talked to her about it. I was like, I want one of those, and it's like they're really expensive to build, And if our total objective was to bring people to town with the pocketbook and the experience, we have succeeded in that. We really have. Being honest, though, if there wasn't this other opportunity to them, they probably would not be in town. Right? You're not ready for it. As much as I want to be ready, the market just isn't there. So when you look at the other option they showed you just a minute ago, yes, if I drive up to Gwinnett Place and the Korean sections they have up there, there's 50 restaurants just like it. We don't have that here. Zero. Right? I mean, we got great restaurants. We got Quaz restaurants. We've got Mamacita's. We've got Global if you haven't eaten there recently. But as far as being cutting edge, being able to compete with the Gwinnett counties of the world that have 1 million people at it, where they can come and shop, you've got it sitting right in front of you, right? And somebody has to start. And so the idea of this wasn't so much the package store concept, it was the economic development of it. Right? We didn't just let you go out and lease a corner store and throw 3,000 square feet in it. And nothing against my friends up here at the Holiday Bottle Shop, but if you hadn't been up there in a minute, and let's run that comparison in comparison to anything that you've seen here, you might say we're doing a little better than that, right? So 17,000 square feet gives you a chance to have a wide selection. You know, it has employees, you know, people that actually get to work there, that have a knowledge base, right? Not just what aisle something is on, but maybe what pairing of wine you might want with something. So I think we have accomplished the objective.
Is Food Terminal a business that you all own? Okay. So why didn't you bring in Food Terminal as the lead?
Because of him.
All of the different menu items
So
they
I'm
have may
from-
not be
I was
perfect.
born here, and I lived in Lake City, and you know, just I feel like
Two
my
Asian.
taste was like Mamacitas. I eat there 3 times a week. It's delicious, and you know, when I go there, I see a bunch of like officers there and firefighters, and just like today, I went there and picked up, and there was a huge group of people there. So I think Thai food does well around the area, and Top Spice has done real well, like with like the Emory like students, and it does well over there. So I think that's because like Food Terminal is still, to me, it's very strange.
Okay, so Food Terminal is the street food, and Top Spice is the straight
Traditional
restaurant.
Thai
Okay.
food, yes.
Okay.
So I
yeah.
think she just voted against the pig
so,
eater.
so Top Spice is not a venture that you all own, but you're saying you're speaking.
No, they
to.
won't.
We own that as well.
So then
Go.
why did you leave with Top Spice?
Well, really, when we initially started, reaching out to the city of Morrow, I was really looking for a new location for Sweet Hut. And it kind of snowballed from there as we started looking at real estate. So, and, I think, as we kind of talk to some local community here, it feels like Sweet Hut feels like a better opportunity. It really, and when we talk about Sweet Hut, it's very exciting for us to go to a new city with Sweet Hut because, everyone loves dessert, but then our pastry have so much culture in it. It's what I like. The barbecue pork is something we make fresh every day. Where and it's so much of our culture. So it's a lot of fun for us to really teach show a new city, a new community what it's about. So what we think about expansion for a corporate, whether it's today Sweet Hut, Food Terminal, Top Spice, Sweet Hut is always going to be my number one expandable project because it brings a lot of cultural value in my eyes. Not to say Food Terminal doesn't, but we do kind of pick and choose a little bit. But I think subjectively, we did felt like we will do
Publix
better.
is the only bakery we have, and as much as I do love my friends over at Publix, they are not anywhere near what you're capable of.
How likely, how confident are you to put a third restaurant, a third component, the second restaurant in there?
Honestly, it depends on the cost of construction. is probably my answer to that. But I think we will definitely try our best.
Yeah, and remember this: it's one thing to build out a restaurant. Now you're building out 20-some thousand square feet at the same time, and we're desiring a very high-end product on a building that's been sitting there since 1985, right? So, and you've already made a multi-million-dollar investment. I totally understand, and I appreciate it greatly. Any other questions?
Right here.
Go ahead.
So, again, here, following up, depending on the building material costs and all that for the restaurant, okay, and that doesn't pan out, what are we looking at for that space?
Well, in truth, we were always in the understanding that bakery was acceptable to city council. So if that's no longer the case, then we do have to go back to the drawing board to see if we need to instead of putting a Sweet Hut, then put in a restaurant instead. Instead of doing all three concepts at one time, I think at this point that would probably be my first instinct at this moment.
I would like to add one last comment.
Shoot.
We do have thousands of students over at Clayton State. We always have to kind of remember that. But we also have Spivey Hall. And again, one of the many conversations that we've had It's just understanding that the only spot we've got is Corrales. You know, so there's really opportunity and hoping that this would be the marriage of that opportunity. I know you all are high level, you know, products, all of that great stuff. But again, I think, I don't know, the uncertainty of the third piece, it's kind of like, oh man, I don't want us to, you know, with what you're bringing being great, I don't want us to be set up for disappointment by not having the opportunity for you know, whether it's a high level quality Asian food restaurant. I'm not saying they're following it, but you know, we're an area that we deserve that as well. We really do. And so again, I'm curious why you didn't throw the restaurant concepts that you all already have out there on the table first, because then that's kind of like the juicy click instant.
Even Miss Crisp like to eat.
Fair
She has a
enough.
drink.
Questions from the audience real quick? We're trying to be brief today, answer all your questions. Ma'am, can I help you?
Yes, hi. I'm Ashley. I just moved from California and bought a home here in Morrow. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. I love it here. I'm so happy for one that there's more coffee to the neighborhood because I'm from the city and we like our lattes and there are no options. There are only like a couple options. So your Midtown location, is that the restaurant and cafe concept that you're referring to?
Yeah, so that location has a sandwich, panini, with a full meal as well as pretty much all our products. Yes, with bread and dessert and coffee.
Okay. I love your price points because I feel like that's like more affordable, especially like what you said about there being college students and high school students here. I think like the price that people can pay for a week of groceries, it's like $70. That's like $10 a day. And I think that gives you a little bit of room in there. I wanted to ask about the cafe because there's like the demographic in Morrow is the age range is a little bit lower than other places in Georgia, which was surprising to me. Like the median age range is like 29, like working people, like young, So I like the idea of having a third space for working individuals, especially like entrepreneurs and students and college students. So like the cafe aspect, I guess I'm wondering, is it gonna be a cafe?
Yeah. It's gonna be a cafe. Yes.
It's like
Oh yes, 100%. And that's a big part of our brand identity. Yes, we're a bakery. Yes, we serve coffee. Yes, we do bubble tea. But more importantly, we kind of aim to be a lifestyle cafe. Tao here actually spends a lot of time designing the resting space, if you will, booth and feature to really make it comfortable for people too.
Yeah, so what we usually try to set up Sweet Hut, not just as a bakery business, but it's more, the way that we see it, it's basically like 5 different businesses in one store. Imagine like Costco, right? You could get anything in there. So it's not just a bakery that you can get bread, pastries, desserts. Also we have sandwich, we have burgers, and we have coffee, huge coffee selections and drink selection, bubble tea from all over the place, frappe, slush. And then on top of that, the interactive shopping experience is very interesting. The moment that you walk into the store, instead of like ordering from a menu, you get to interact with a huge display case that serves like tons of different options that you can feel free to kind of explore and then just see how things are. So that experience brought up the attention from day one, and that's one of the, I see that as one of the key reasons why we made some impact with our stores and business concept. And we would love to bring that over here to really create such an experience, interactive experience for the people.
Yes, on free Wi-Fi, 100%.
Again,
Oh my God,
and free Wi-Fi.
But 100% on free Wi-Fi as we do in
Yes.
any store.
I love that. Like, a third space for the kids too, because like there are a few places like that here that they can just like go hang out and like eat
Yeah.
and
I love that you brought up hanging out, and that's going to be wonderful. But let's also not forget it's a package store as well. So.
In the liquor store aspect too.
Yeah.
It's like,
So
what about the liquor
yeah,
business?
and so again, you're kind of on the flip side, strengthening the point that I'm making in terms of the concept for the package store is tied to a restaurant, and I get it. Sweetheart is a cafe restaurant, but again, Top Spice, bam, out the park. You know, but and again, I know everyone loves Sweetheart. We appreciate it, but that's my thought process.
Other questions?
And I'm only one person. so.
Other questions, audience? Jerry?
Okay, the liquor store that you're showing the picture of, is it just liquor and wine? Does it have beer or?
Yes, we'll have liquor, beer, and wine, yes.
Okay, is it as big as this room?
Oh.
It'll be a lot bigger. This is 17,000 square feet. This room is probably,
Full-time
So
looking.
will it kind of be at one end of the building versus where the food is?
Yes, would be the answer to that, just based on their floor plan. At the left side, if you want to look at it, there's no other way to move it.
And then,
Okay, say they approve all this tonight, there are people in that building right now.
We asked that earlier, 90 days, they'll
When would
move.
you give them the 90-day notice?
it's really pending on, the approval tonight, and as we work with our construction schedule to see how long we can keep them there as well. We will try to,
Like January, you might give them the notice, or maybe February.
Maybe, yeah, depends on the schedule of our architect as well.
Has anybody talked to those people or the Clayton County?
no, I think because we just closed, I think, on the property about 4 weeks ago. So we're really just kind of getting situated right now with the tenants.
Because those people seem to be doing some good work that are there. It's a rehab type looking people.
Yes, understand.
Fair enough. Other questions?
One other question, with the restaurant component, just kind of trying to support you in what you're trying to do here. I know the restaurant component is kind of difficult. It doesn't have to be open, from 11. You can open maybe like a dinner night spot. It could be a brunch type scenario, as it relates to maybe having your Sweet Hut and then doing maybe your Top Spice or the food terminal, but keeping that restaurant component. I see your vision. I can understand people's concern with the liquor store being as big as it is. But we want to support business, and I mean, they wrote the ordinance in a way to where they can support you. But like I said, they really want to see more nightlife, more enjoyment, more people sitting down having gourmet meals. And you have to think about the price point. Food terminal, Top Spice, pretty high end. So I don't see you being open 7 days a week or being open from 11 to 9, maybe from 4 to late, or but yeah, good ways to not get around it, but to make it work for your demographic in the community.
Other questions? Anybody else? Miss Bonita Crawford.
Just to dovetail on what he was talking about, what would your hours be? Would the liquor store and the restaurant have separate hours?
They would.
Yes.
How long, what would be your hours for the liquor store? And what would be your hours for the restaurant or the cafe?
So for the liquor store, it'll likely be 8 a.m. to 11:45 p.m. And for the bakery, if it's a bakery, it'll be probably anywhere from 9 to 9. If it's a restaurant, it'll be likely from 11 till 10.
Okay. From 11 to 9?
10.
Oh, it's 10, okay. All right, thank you.
All right, fair enough. I'm gonna make a motion, but I want to make sure I get everybody's points in the motion. So if I miss something, I want somebody, Mr. Baker or otherwise, to chime in, right? First, and these will be in the collective section and we'll vote on it, right? If you want something added or just subtracted, now is the time. So item 1 would be to grant the party that owns the property a package store liquor license in the city of Marl, which would be our first one, subject to the codes of the city of Marl as they're written. 2, that it meets the requirements of point 1 of the Planning and Zoning Board, right, that were already listed in the conditions from the Planning and Zoning Board. point two, which met the second level of the conditions of the Planning and Zoning Board. 3, requires the city of Morrow to work with the private entity to design and attain a curb cut on Corporate Center Drive. Any other conditions?
I was, I don't know how to phrase this, but, you know, just keeping in the spirit of the original concept and ensuring that with this conditional use approval, that the definition of a restaurant is maintained for the first space that opens with the liquor store. Because again, with what has been brought this evening, it's not giving that it's gonna seat 60 people.
But the definitions are already there. You're just asking them to abide by the code.
Yes, abide by the code.
Fair
So again, you've got to make sure that you are seating the proper number of people. And
But I think that states itself. In other words, that's the code. That wouldn't be a separate condition. They have to follow the code.
they have to follow the code, and maybe it's for clarity's sake and understanding, knowing that following the code, again, viewing what was submitted today, it didn't give the confidence that this first space is gonna seat 60 people. So, following the code.
Following the code is fair. But still, it's still 4 items. Following the code is traditional. Okay. Any other things that somebody might add? Hearing none? Do I hear a motion to approve? Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
The stipulation, or in the event that building materials are not acquired or cannot be or whatever, that the combined cafe restaurant is put in place and not just have the cafe and the liquor store. We need a time frame to give to that possibility of having that
But
third entity.
Wouldn't that also be in the code? Now, the third one is not required by the code. The code basically
No, no.
says we want a restaurant and
But it's
a liquor store. If
No.
they're nice enough to build me a third one, awesome, right? But right now, the code doesn't require that. We would certainly appreciate it, and I promise the city will bend over backwards to help you out, because that's the main focus of what we're trying to accomplish in the first place. So I can accomplish that goal by being cooperative. But what's not in the code that
So
will
what
change
I'm
it?
saying is that instead of being a restaurant, it turned out to be something else, that the restaurant is not built at all, and it becomes some other type of business. Is that
No,
something
the
that,
code- the code requires it. They
that
have
it
to
be a
have-
restaurant,
They have to have a restaurant and a.
not 10 years down the road or 5 years down the road?
Not 10 years down the
Okay.
road. They're aware of that.
Okay.
And that's
I
in the
think
code.
all those two concerns are addressed in the conditional usage. It addresses that they have to follow the codes, state and federal laws, and it also says that the simultaneous or within a reasonable time, as ascertained by the city, that the restaurant has to open as well
Right.
as a package store. So
Because
those
we
are,
have been sitting on,
those are in the
property.
conditional usage.
yeah, that's been
agreement.
sitting for years and nothing came of it, so
20, long, yeah, we own one.
we wanna,
Understand. All right, no other questions, comments, concerns? Do I hear a motion to approve as stated items 1, 2, 3, and 4? Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion properly seconded. All those in favor say aye. Ms. Knight,
Aye.
Mr. Quah,
Aye.
Ms. Dean,
Aye.
and Ms. Wynn.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Thank you, we're very excited to be here, thank you, everyone.
I noticed the police chief left.
He was never here.
He was never
Right,
here.
weird.
So we're spending
They do kinda look
$100,000 and he didn't show up? Oh, there he is. I mean, well, not the chief, but the assistant chief, however he wants to say. Hey, Major Woodall.
The fire chief is here.
He's gotta be in here. He's gotta be, all right, no, fair enough,
Yeah.
fair enough. I just wanted to make sure if we're gonna spend $100,000, there ought to at least be somebody in that department that's sitting here to take it. Go ahead, Mr. Big. So we basically have had the request in the work session, and related to 2 Ford police interceptors totaling $99,000 is budgeted in fiscal year 2026, and to authorize the mayor to execute any related documents. Any questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion approved, properly seconded. All those in favor say aye. Ms. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Quah?
Aye.
Ms. Dean?
Aye.
And Ms. Nguyen?
Aye.
Motion carries. Ordinance Resolution 2508 related to amending the provisions for codification to certain, it's a fee schedule, for lack of a better word. It's already had a first reading. This is our second reading. Any questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to approve? Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion properly seconded. All those in favor say aye. Ms. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Quah?
Aye.
Ms. Dean?
Aye.
And Ms. Nguyen?
Aye.
Motion carries. And that,
I do want to apologize, Mr. Mayor, that you didn't get any of the Sweet Hut treats there, but I do want to confess that Knox consumed most of those, and if he didn't consume them, they're probably in his backpack, which he still has back there, so we'll put that in there for you.
questions or comments from the audience? Ms. Lana?
I just want to thank, everybody in, Morrow, Public Works, the City of Morrow employees, police, fire department. It was a fabulous time, Saturday, with the Christmas in the park. The kids had a great time, just wonderful. They had the ice skating, but, you know, I still have the vision of your restaurant, and package store, beverage store, I don't care what you call it. You know, just have those good olives, you know. When you presented it, you know, I went back to Greece. And, you know, you have to have your feta cheeses, you have to have your grape cheeses and your olives. So I congratulate you and welcome to Morrow. Thank you.
Other comments? Mr. Woodall?
Thank you, Mayor and Council, for approving the funding. On behalf of the chief, we will be using those vehicles swiftly with assuredness to suppress felony crimes and make the traveling public safe.
That's
Thanks,
awesome.
sir.
Comments from the city council? Oh, did I miss something?
Mayor. You have another?
I'm sorry, did I?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
want to say again, this is my first meeting. Thank you to the council, and I appreciate being here. It's so welcoming, and I will be back to more meetings and invite some of my neighbors to come, because this was great stuff.
Good.
Sweet.
Welcome tomorrow.
Thank you.
And the young lady to the left?
Where do you live? I live, right across the street from the convenience store on Marlow Road, right down the street up the wall.
That's Miss Harvey.
Yes, and he's the bone.
Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Well, my name is Tiffany Howard. Hello, Morrow. Thank you for having me. I represent a nonprofit based out of Conyers, Georgia. It's called Stimulate America, and our initiative for seniors is our Magnolia Club program. And so this year, to try to help mitigate the inflationary crisis that our seniors age 60 and over are experiencing right now, which is also causing food insecurity. We've partnered with Centerwell Senior Primary Care and Senior Benefit Advisors, and on December the 18th, we're gonna be giving out more food. We've actually been giving out eggs, dozens of eggs since June. We brought 3 refrigerators into the Atlanta City Council atrium. I know that sounds crazy, but it happened. But now we're bringing our refrigerators filled with chicken, loaves of bread, 64-ounce juice, tomatoes, also tangerines. Did I say a dozen of eggs? Oh, yes, and some canned goods. And so it's absolutely free. Now, Georgia Power is also going to be there. They're going to be helping sign up seniors for energy efficiency assistance, a reduction in their Georgia Power bill, as well as if you need some energy efficient home improvements to your home. And so that's going to be, and then we also have Spanish translators that will be there. On our flyer, we have it written in English and in Spanish, so that the language barrier is not a problem. We want to include all of our seniors, and we also can translate this into other languages, so that everyone can be a part of this. Again, this is what we're doing together to provide food at this time. And as long as we work together, we're going to get through this.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Comments from the City Council, Ms. Knight.
Happy holidays. Oh, hold on. Happy holidays.
Mr. Quah.
Congratulations. And Merry Christmas, because this is the last meeting of the year here. So Merry Christmas, everybody.
Miss Dean.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Miss Wynn.
Again, I'd like to share my appreciation to all our staff have been working really hard this year in keeping Morrow safe, especially our police department team. Won the award for the safest on the highway, the Governor Award, and our public safety, public works team is always there, especially in the weekends, and pump a lot of hours to make sure all our events are welcoming, effective, pretty. And of course, our firefighter department too is always there, and even in the darkest hour, you guys always there for our citizens, especially that recent incident that we have in Morrow. Thank you so much. And of course, our administrative staff is, I know you guys are working really hard for our citizen here and making us, mayor and council, look good in the public. We appreciate you guys a lot. And then welcome Sweet Hut family, come to City of Morrow. Like again, I say earlier that you guys have many choice out there. And I know many cities are trying to bring you guys in to their city to revitalize the city. So I'm really appreciate you guys come here. And then of course, I don't forget RJ is the one signing the check for all of us, and hope all our city employees enjoy the bonus that you guys just have.
To make sure we make you happy, man.
Yeah. And what else? I forgot. Oh yes, we have a toy drive next weekend. We partner multiple nonprofits throughout the county, and we partner with the county to give out over 2,000 toys. I heard that we will have 2,400 toys available for our kids, the family in Clayton County. So I hope that we have volunteers next Friday and Saturday at the Angel Creek area behind Walmart. If you have some time, just stop by and volunteer there. That's it. Thank you so much and happy holidays.
Thank you. Mine is kind of bittersweet. We have 2 new members of the council who will come on board at the next meeting, because the next meeting for December 23rd is canceled, right? So the next time we see each other, we will have a swearing-in ceremony. They understand that you get swore in the first day and swore at the second, so that's a pretty good thing. And then the other part is, 2 members of this council will be going back into the private sector. It has been a pleasure to work with them. They have challenged me in ways that, and I may not be the easiest person in the world to tolerate, but
For sure.
but I can say this. I think they've made me a better person. And a better man.
I help you all. What I said, I still want to help you all.
But they really have made me a better person and a better man, and to be more cognizant of the people around me, and not everybody is the same, and we have to work on that. So
Yes.
I appreciate it. Y'all have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.